Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good, everyone? This will be a little bit more of a different type of video, and I guess unique in some fashion. I've actually had this thought for several years now, and for those that saw the random tweet the other week on Twitter asking about if any YouTubers were fans of soccer / football, right? That's the correct terminology. Tallen commented, so I figured we'd go ahead and talk about it. So. Yeah, did you play in the past, or more of an avid watcher of football, I guess is the right term, right?
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for having me on the channel, man, as always. But no, I have actually played soccer. So I'm gonna call it soccer. I know I'm the American. I know everyone else in the world is gonna be like, dude, it's football. Get your act together, you moron. But I'm gonna call it soccer too. I played since I was 5 years old, and I actually still play to this day. I played in, like, I guess, a quote-unquote real team. I'm using air quotes here in school, rec leagues and high school, the actual club team and everything like that. And then when I got into university, it was mostly through the rec center, just kind of, it was more casual play, but, that could be co-ed, it could be fall, winter, spring, summer. It's just, a good way to keep in shape and just keep playing the game that I love. And I still play it out here in Japan, actually. It's not as often as I would like to, but it's still fun nonetheless. Yeah. So,
what position was your assignment, I guess, so to speak?
So I actually started off as a defender usually, and then I moved up into midfield, and then occasionally was asked to be pushed up to forward. But nowadays I mostly play a midfield position because I can run the entire field. So.
Yeah. So you got the endurance. That's what it sounds like.
I did. And, honestly, my dribbling skills were probably that of like an elementary school kid, to be perfectly honest. But I could run an entire game, and my coach never had to take me out. So.
I gotcha. Well, I mean, it almost sounds like a little bit of modesty coming from you. I'm sure you can dribble just fine. So.
Fine. I'll bump myself up to a junior high level. How about that? All right.
Yeah, all right. I can live with that. For those that are a little bit confused as to why we're talking about it, and you clicked on the video because of the title, let me go ahead and break it down for you. Basically, if there was a Dokkan Battle Youtuber League, right? What would make sense is basically the question I kept asking myself. And I think, because we're both, Talon and I are both big fans of soccer, and grew up playing. It kind of makes sense to think about it in that fashion. And well, let's go ahead and talk about that first. So are you surprised there's not really kind of like a normal schedule of like a Dokkan Battle League within YouTubers right now? I mean, it seems like it would have existed already.
For 6 years of this game existing, I kind of am, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there was, I guess, the individual races that started off back when Rhyme started them off, and you saw a lot of those on YouTube. Almost every week you saw races, and you still see it to this day in some regard, but it's nowhere. I wouldn't say it's as competitive as some kind of league or anything like that. It's kind of just like either a little rivalry between you and another YouTuber, or that's pretty much it essentially, or just some kind of fun thing, or hey, don't drink the no juice and you have to use this item or something, and that's about it.
Yeah, I guess it's more or less like a good way to set up a collab. It works out pretty well in terms of that regard, so I guess it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to actually set up a league for that, and it's obviously going to be competitive, but it's friendly competition. Hopefully, if it rolls out, nobody's going to be super hardcore about it and crazy or anything. But I mean, it almost sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. I guess the biggest issue, right, is, and maybe this is why it didn't exist before, is just timing and scheduling with people involved and having to work out, scheduling races and whatever. I'm guessing that's one of the roadblocks with it, right?
Especially a road, definitely on my side. I can definitely vouch for that because of my time difference compared to everybody else.
It's I'm sure everything's crazy for you, considering I mean, just I mean, you and I mean, we're it's what 8:45 a.m. for me, and it's 9:45 p.m. for you right now, right? So it's kind of like a lot of ahead of time planning required for that type of stuff. Right?
Yeah, I can't just call you up and be like, hey, you're only an hour behind me or something. Hey, let's do a race or something like that. It's like, no, it's like, okay, are you free 2 Saturdays from now down the road?
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I guess back to the original point. That's maybe that's one of the main reasons why it's never, really kind of came to fruition or anything. But I mean, I think it's a worthwhile thing to talk about, and from a comparison standpoint and how I would potentially roll that out, and you can kind of add your feedback in terms of like if it would work or not. I like the league structure of either the Premier League, J League, or whatever, Spanish La Liga, whatever the case is. Like I think that structure will work out pretty well. I think typically, it ranges, I guess, depending on the size of the league, but I don't know how many teams are on J League, like 12 or something maybe. Premier League's 20 with whatnot, so it kind of ranges. But how many YouTubers do you think would work best in a league setting? Like one league, like the top flight, how many YouTubers would you think would probably be a good fit for that league?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I probably say around 10. I would say probably. I think.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, it's not too many, but it's not too little. Because you obviously want to give everyone a fair chance at it. You don't want to make it boring and just show off the same 2 people or anything. But you obviously run the risk, like any league, where if it gets way too big and bloated, then it's just like, wait, when in the heck did you 2 fight, or how did you win this one, right? And it's just like, well, didn't you catch the video at like 5 a.m. your time the other day? Or so it's like, no. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think around 10 or so would be good.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess the thing to your point, if there's too many people involved, obviously they would have to play each other, and that would just take way too long. It'd be way too many matches, in total. So I guess like the season would potentially be way longer. But I guess before we get into the details of that, let me just quickly break down like the point system, how the Premier League or whatever is set up. So basically, by winning the match, you get 3 points. If you tie, I guess you can't really tie in this case, so it would be 3 points or 0, right?
Right. Yep.
That's how it would work out. And then based on the total points at the end of the season, I guess you'd have your winners of the league, and also if you wanted to, I think it'd be a good idea to do this as well, but incorporate the promotional and relegation side of it, right? So if the top flight's only 10 people, right? But you can actually have a lower league below that where, let's say there's another set of 10 people, and, the top 3 would have the potential to get promoted into the top flight, and, the bottom 3 in the league would get, demoted to the second league or whatever. I think that would be a pretty cool concept. Obviously, building out initially, you just want to have one league, but later down, it'd be kind of cool to have several leagues. I think it'd be a cool idea, but I don't know what your thoughts would be on that one.
No, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, because they kind of have that, not just in soccer or anything, but you kind of see that within almost any sport with any kind of league, right? I mean, generally, if some lower, maybe it's more players, I would say, obviously, than just a team. But of course, with Dokkan and everything, it just simply be one player and everything. But generally, if you've kind of proven yourself and you've shown that you're the best of the best and maybe that quote unquote lower league tier, then you just move up and then be like, all right, let's see what happens when we go with the big boys and everything, or something like that. So I think definitely it could actually definitely work like that.
The other thing too, I think it's important to call this one out too, is similar to any professional league, sports league that's around the world. You're gonna have your capital rich clubs like the New York Yankees or Manchester United or whatever, right? And that's the equivalent of the Truth, Goresh, and Nolar and whoever, right? You know what I mean? And that's going to be interesting because having the dark horses, underdogs, try and take them on and place higher.
Oh yeah,
that might actually be interesting. I don't know how realistically that's possible, but it would certainly make things a little bit entertaining. I don't know, like how do you feel going up against the Truth? And
well, I have actually faced all of them before. I've lost and won against Truth. Goresh, I think I won one race against him. I don't remember, but he's definitely beat me a couple other times. Yeah. And generally more kind of funky races and everything. And then Nolar and I have actually raced quite a bit on both of our channels, and it's always been, I think we're tied in terms of all the wins and losses that we've had, you know, because the thing you do have to always keep in mind when it comes to Dokkan is just simply sometimes luck just doesn't work for you sometimes. I mean, there's been a race where Nolar gets super attacked 3 times in the first slot, and I don't have anything in the first slot. I'm like, oh, hey, look, I just took down 2 of my opponents already. So, you know, it always depends on that, unfortunately. Like, if there was some way for us to, you know, I say mod, but go into the game and be like, okay, look, this is how we're going to set it up. You have the same amount of, you know, the same positions on everything real quick. How would you face this? Go and then do some kind of race or game or something like that. But, unfortunately, we can't do that, so.
Yeah, and I guess, like, at the end of the day, even if, you know, the top 3 to 4th place are you know, kind of like what you expect, I mean, that's still in the realms of reality of what you would see, you know, in like the Premier League, you know, the top 4 is typically pretty consistent of who's there, and even with the Dokkan Youtuber League, I mean, I could certainly see a similar thing. I guess, you know, to your point, though, with RNG being a little bit more of a variable here, that kind of leaves things a little bit open-ended. You know, somebody, you know, even the whales can get unlucky and get killed or whatever. And that's you know, that's another one to talk about, right? If you get killed, is that an immediate loss, or can you still reset? That'd be an interesting one to talk about in terms of like hashing out the rules.
Yeah, I mean, like if we literally started the same event at the exact same time and I die in the first round just because, again, of bad luck and everything, I absolutely think that it would be good to, you know, say, yeah, go back into it because, look, you just literally died. And I mean, honestly, the only thing that could really screw you over there would be finding the friend, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think, you know, getting knocked out early on and counting that as a loss, that's a little bit unfair considering how RNG is such a big factor here. But yeah, it'd be. I mean, you know, I haven't really thought about the rules, and you know, if this did roll out, it'd be pretty interesting to, you know, think about the potential, you know, rules, regulations, and structures and all that.
Oh, definitely.
I guess the only thing to add is like, you know, like having like a cup or a tournament, right, once a year or once a season would be kind of cool too, I guess. You know, I don't know if that's like toward the end of the season, at the very end, or whatever. You know, it's kind of an additional trophy type deal in addition to the league title or whatever. But I don't know, like it's there's so many opportunities to do this, but like I'm trying to figure out if there was like 10 people, how long would the potential season be, right? You're playing against, you know, you have to play everyone. I don't know if you want to play everyone like twice. That would be kind of extreme. But even if you played everyone once, that's like, you know, what, like 10 separate matches, right? It's too early in the morning for me to do math. I don't know. Help me out on that one, Tallen. But
I think, like, you know, I mean, I get the quote unquote downside to not being able to, or to having to play somebody over again, especially when something has RNG in it. You know, do you get the best RNG the first time, but then the second time you just get absolutely destroyed in it, aka like my recent race with Toon Rami and everything. But you know, obviously you want them to be able to have a chance to kind of go back. So maybe if there was a way where you have, you know, like the first round where everyone faces off and everything, and then you like wait until that final match is done, and then give it like a day, and then face off against the same people or something like that again, or make it in a rotation where it's like everyone's in a block of 3. And so, like, say for example, I face you, you face Goresh faces me, and then it, you know, and then we go back again where, okay, I face you, you face Goresh, or, you know, something like that again. And this is all up in the air. Right. Maybe that would be a better way of doing it. But again, RNG can still screw you over, so.
It's because I mean, honestly, from a timing standpoint, you know, we can't have like a match every week. I would, realistically speaking, I would say each person has the ability to maybe have like 2 matches per month, maybe, you know, type deal. So if that's the case, 10 total, that's over the course of 5 months. I guess in that regard, it would work out to some extent. But again, you know, scheduling is probably the biggest roadblock here, but it would definitely be a lot of fun to see that. And then like you were talking about earlier, if it did expand out to a second league and see like the new guys come up and basically like, you know, David versus Goliath type deal, you know, Cinderella story, you know, type deal, that'd be pretty damn cool too.
Right. No, exactly. You're absolutely correct on that.
Maybe if this did roll out, Bandai or Akatsuki would kind of take notice and be like, you know what, this is actually a good idea. Maybe we should roll this out.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up though, because didn't they have something like that?
I was just about to say that too. Like, what was that, year 1 or 2? I almost feel like it might have been the second year, but it was just global, right? It was at like an expo or something, right? Or no?
Well, no, they also had one here in Japan. Because I remember.
Oh, that big ass Dragonstone as the trophy, right?
Yeah. They had something like that here in Japan as well. So I think the global version's done one thing, and then the JP version's done one thing as well. I thought it was well received for the most part, but maybe it wasn't, or they just simply thought, you know, maybe it's not worth it or anything like that. But
yeah, I mean, it is a lot of an issue logistically speaking. So, but I mean, I think it's a good way to like intermingle, you know, the development side with the player base. I mean, that's a good way to kind of embrace the two sides of it. But I don't know why. When did that happen anyway? Do you remember?
Oh God, I want to say it was between year 2 and year 3. I think it was before the first Dokkan Fest LRs. I know that for a fact. I think it was between year 2 and year 3.
That sounds right. Yeah, because I almost feel like Global, when they did it, I don't know if it's still in the game or not, but didn't they have the whole speed battle event on the Global side, and that's kind of what they use for theirs?
Yeah, and I think it's been on there for a long time, but JP got it for like a little bit, and then it's never returned.
Yeah, I remember that was there briefly, and then it never came back. I don't know why, but it probably needs to be updated right now anyway, right?
Yeah,
considering
exactly.
The types of events that were on there. But I guess, you know, like a race would work, or I don't know. There's so many possibilities. So it's kind of like, you know, we're obviously just kind of improv the conversation right now and just, you know, speaking randomly about it. But I certainly think there's a lot of opportunity there. Maybe we'll do like a in real life Dokkan race, and people will have to travel to Japan to see. But you know, that might not be a bad idea either, right?
Hey, yeah, I guess I could be the announcer or something like that. I already live out here. I don't have to worry about hotels or anything. I'm
already thinking that Toon probably should be the announcer, right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, fine. Toon can be the announcer, and then after he does it all in English, I'll translate it real quick into Japanese and be like,
okay,
that crazy man over here who's really energetic, guys. This is what he said.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, you're way too competitive to stay on the sidelines. You got to be in the front line in the battles, I'm sure. So
I definitely do. Yeah, it's you know, it's honestly really funny. Like growing up playing soccer and everything. Like, you know, you've probably heard the term of, you know, like the soccer moms and the, you know, all that stuff. Generally, I never really cared about being that competitive. I mean, we played against. If you're from the States, maybe you know this term, but or for anyone watching, I should say, but select soccer. So like you had your kind of rec, kind of more casual soccer as kids all the way up through high school, and that was generally in the fall. But then you had the select soccer, which is like the privileged soccer. You know, you've got the money to go do it and everything like that. Yeah. When in reality, half of them were just a bunch of babies who got, you know, sad when they got mud on their jerseys and everything. So I never really cared about, you know, that quote unquote competitive aspect. But the moment I got into like college and everything, and maybe that was also the time that I was definitely playing a lot more online for video games and everything, I started getting super competitive. If you've ever watched a stream of mine, oh boy, I've got my rage moments in there. It's nothing serious, like I'm actually really gonna go hurt somebody, but you know, I've got my rage moments and everything, like you know, pretty much everyone does. So
dude, I wanna race you in Mario Kart one of these days. I haven't played in a while, but there was a time when I literally played every single day, and I was just like, that's the game I played back then. Now, obviously, things have changed, and I haven't, you know, really played it much, so I definitely have to get rid of the rust to a lot of degrees. But yeah, eventually, maybe, you know, I'll have to see that rage in person. You know,
you'll hear it at least. You'll hear it. So.
We'll have to do a Cario Mart session or something, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't know. Those are fun days back in the day, but you know, it is what it is. But it's been a while. We're not in our teens anymore. You know? So
no, we're not.
The next days are always a little bit more rougher than they used to be.
Oh, exactly. Yes.
But yeah, this will be a lot of fun. I think, it's gonna take a lot of work in terms of like keeping it maintained and tracking it and having somebody enforce it, I guess, so to speak, with scheduling and point systems and whatever. But if it did roll out, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Give me 10 people that would be in the league right now.
10 people be in the league right now?
If you were if you were the federation and you were picking out people to include on a league, who would you pick?
Oh God. Okay. Well, I mean, the obvious ones: you, Truth, Goresh, Nolar, Nano. I guess Rhyme actually has been getting back into the race stuff with Nano at least, so I guess technically we could bring him on. It depends. He always goes back and forth with this kind of stuff. Mass Ningen. Trying to think. Oh God, I can never pronounce his name. Havachi. I don't I never got it right, and he's gonna have to correct us. But is it Havohe or Havohai? Yeah, Havohai or something. I can never pronounce his name properly. I like the moment I see it though, I'm like, I know exactly who he is. So definitely him.
Yeah,
I would have said somebody like DeMonte, but I don't think he plays Dokkan anymore. I mean, I could be wrong on that.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So then, I guess obviously I have to throw myself in because I said you, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, there's Sunblade who's more newer, but he definitely has shown his qualities already and everything. And then Toon, I guess would be the 10th one.
Yeah.
Don't let his race against Nolar and Goresh fool you, everybody. The dude actually has mad luck sometimes. So you know what?
Yeah, he does. So I guess my question, the reason why I asked you that is this. Out of the 10 that you just mentioned, from your own confidence level right now, where do you think you would end up at the league? Obviously we have RNG as a variable and all that stuff, but what would you guess as to where you would place in the league table with those guys involved? I'm asking you to call these people out real quick.
Where would I place myself, or where would I place everybody?
No, where would you place in the top 10? Like, where would you be in the top 10?
Where would
considering
I
the people
be?
you just mentioned.
Hang on. What events are we doing here? What events are we doing?
I don't know. That's. I mean, I don't know. Let's keep it simple. Let's just say like Super Battle Road. Whatever.
Okay.
Like, just
Super Battle
SBR
Road. Just because of my luck when it comes to Super Battle Road races half the time. I don't know. I probably put myself in the top 5. I put myself in the upper half of them. I would say maybe 4th.
Yeah.
I say 4th or 3rd probably.
Okay. So top 4.
Yeah.
Top 4. I hear you.
Yeah. Just because I do a lot of Super Battle Road videos. Just again, sometimes that luck just doesn't work out for you.
Yeah. Trust me, I remember seeing that when we raced with the LRUI Goku, and I got absolutely screwed with the not only the rotations but all the super attacks that came in.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep.
I was like, why is Jiren always in the 7th slot? I need him in the 1st or 2nd slot, whatever. But to your point, those things happen. So I guess that's what potentially would make it interesting, is the fact that you can have the best deck, but ultimately the driver for that is going to be how the event actually runs, and that's not necessarily by any means predictable. So I don't know, that'd be a lot of fun. But top 4, I think, I think that sounds, from an SBR standpoint, that definitely sounds realistic as to where I would see you placing. I don't know about myself, probably, I don't know, maybe I would say mid-table, honestly, 5th or 6th. I'm not like the biggest expert in SBR by any means, so I tend to screw things up here and there, so that's probably where I would end up, mid-table. But
all right,
we'll see.
Very nice.
But yeah, I don't know who we need to talk to, but I guess we can kind of talk about this. I guess there are things in the works in terms of like the planning phase, so like if you guys would want to see something like that, it's definitely in contention. I guess the question is, what other suggestions and feedback or opinions would you guys have in terms of what kind of system you would want implemented? I guess it would be a good takeaway, in that regard, right? As additional feedback to take into consideration. Like, what do you think?
In terms of additional feedback from...
Well, basically anyone watching right now, in the comments section, whoever's, planning this stuff, it might help kind of provide clarity as to like what people are potentially looking for in a system like that. I don't know. it's a lot of different anomalies and variables involved, so it's probably going to be difficult.
Yeah,
making tweaks here and there.
I definitely say it's definitely pretty difficult, but I guess if you're somebody who's trying to think about a way to actually make this kind of work and everything, is
yeah.
I think in the end you have to kind of put your foot down and be like, look, this is what we're going to do. This is where the majority of people are free to at least, you know, do the recording / live stream of it. And if you can commit to it, and you have to make sure they can commit to it, then they can be part of it. If they're going to be kind of flimsy and, you know, not really responsive or anything, you know, like, oh, hey, we have your race is coming up and we don't hear from you at all, then, you know, we can't have that. So I think that would probably be the biggest thing, again, to really make this thing take off the ground and everything. So
I am a little bit guilty in that regard. Sometimes you know, work takes over and I'm like, crap, I gotta I unfortunately had to do that to you for this topic right here. And I feel terrible every time it happens, but it's just like sometimes it doesn't work out. And
and sometimes you have, you know, obviously real world obligations. You know, both of us work full-time jobs on top of doing YouTube and streaming and everything, and a lot of other people do as well. So it's not like we're saying you're flimsy and you never commit to anything, but sometimes you do have to be like, okay, look, this is the way it is. Unfortunately, if you can't make it for this month's quote-unquote league, then let's try for next month's, right? You know.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, having that, versatility and options, I guess, will certainly help. And, you know, at this point, we're just kind of brainstorming about it. So, of course, you know, things will be more, if it did roll out, it would obviously get refined and, you know, modified or whatever. So, you know, it's just, at this point, just kind of throwing it out there, you know, kind of gauging if there's an interest level for it from an audience standpoint. If there is, you know, there is something being planned right now, and when it rolls out, you know, hopefully people are ready for it, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. Like, I'm actually excited in terms of like what might happen, but it might be different a little bit different in terms of like the overall structure and nature of it. But I think the overall general concept should be the same, so it should be pretty cool. Hopefully it doesn't break any friendships when it gets too competitive. I doubt it will, but it'll be funny if
no promises.
You have your...
No, I think in all honesty, I think maybe viewers might take it a little too serious, but overall, majority of us, we all know each other pretty well, and so you know, we might sound angry on a video or stream or something like that, but it literally, like, the moment it all ends, we're just like, "What's up, buddy? How's it going?" So.
I totally have to, after this recording, I totally have to check out your Twitch streams and just see what
oh my god,
the rage is all about.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god,
that's gonna be a lot of fun. Trust me, like when I play, a lot of people don't really see this about me, but when I used to play, you know, Winning 11 or Tekken or Gran Turismo or whatever, right, back in the day, I would get raged pretty bad if I got, you know, if I lost in a pretty bad fashion, or even Mario Kart. I'd be cursing like a sailor too.
Oh yeah, well, I think it's more, it's like the less players there are per match, the more rage inducive it can sometimes become, because, like, you know, like I also play games like Battlefield and everything, and so if I lose, it's just like, okay, you know what, it's a team of 32 players, you know, sometimes you just, you know, things just happen, right? Mario Kart, you know, if I get gypped out of a first place win, all of a sudden I get ninth because I get hit by a blue shell at the finish line. Anyone's gonna rage at that. But when you get into, like, you know, Smash and fighters and everything, it's like, you know, there's only one winner and one loser, right? It's not like, oh, I got second place. You know, it's still pretty good. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's the enemies are a little bit more pinpointed at that point, so it definitely makes it a little bit more. I don't know what hostile, I guess, is the wrong word, but it's kind of like probably the best way I could explain it.
That's basically the best way to explain it. So.
Yeah. Hostility does come about competitive nature, so we'll leave it at that.
Yep.
But yeah, we got off on a little bit of a tangent, but ultimately the goal of this video, for those still watching, which, you know, we appreciate, I think it was just, you know, generally observing the opportunity of potentially having a Dokkan Battle Youtubers League. And I think it would certainly be a good idea. Just implementing it would be the most difficult part. So again, leave your comments. Let us know what you think. You know, just it doesn't matter what you think. Just leave comments. Feedback is good, and maybe eventually things will come out, and you know, we'll go forward with that. But Talon, it was a lot of fun, man. talking to you and just ancillary topics here and there was a lot of fun. I think you and I are gonna have to get on some Mario Kart at some point, but you got to let me practice a little bit first.
All right. We'll give yourself a little bit of warm up time, then 100% we're gonna stream that. So absolutely, get ready for it, folks.
So how good is my alter ego Toonrami? Is he up to par with your standards, or what's the deal? Have you played him yet? Or
and Mario, I have not played him in Mario Kart. No. I have watched some of his Mario Kart, and he seems good. But it's Toon. Right. He acts one way. You hear some voice going off on Discord, and you're like, wait, who am I playing again? And then so we'll have to wait and see. But we'll definitely get some races going.
Yeah, if I ever play with him, I'm not going to be concerned with any other player. I'm probably just going to be pinpointed on him.
Please let me record that. Please let me record that.
I'll start off 12 just to chase people down, or chase Toon down, I guess.
There you go. There we go. Absolutely.
We'll talk about that later on. But yeah, it was definitely a cool topic to talk about, and I think it was way more enjoyable having you on. At least since you have a lot more knowledge base when it comes to soccer and the general idea of like the league structure and all that. So it was definitely a lot of fun. I appreciate you being on, and thanks for all the additional input. Any last thoughts that you want to add before we close out here?
Nah, I'm definitely looking forward to though if this can get taken off. So definitely looking forward.
Yeah, there's definitely something planning in the works. So we'll just see what the final product ends up being. But I think a lot of people will probably be happy about it. So I guess just look forward to that, and hopefully rolls out and everyone has a good time. So I guess we'll close things out. Talon, appreciate you hopping on, and hopefully you guys watching also enjoyed it. So stay tuned and we'll find out.
All right, man.
See you guys.
See ya.